Alright, so it's the middle of August here, and the vegetable gardens is kind of coming to a close for the summer, spring season. I want to transition to preparing for the fall. I'll probably start my seeds here in about 2 weeks or so, maybe end of August, beginning of September. Plant them in October time frame. Normally I can get my winter garden all the way through January. We normally don't really get a freeze until late January, maybe early February. So I'll flip the camera around, show you guys what my spring and summer garden looks like right now, and then I'll show you what I plan on doing today. Alright, so this is the garden. I have eggplant here, still have a bunch of eggplants growing there. Banana peppers, you can see all those, and 2 jalapeno plants. This bed here was where I had corn. I ended up getting about a dozen ears of corn. And then my flower garden here for the pollinators. I had a hummingbird the other day, so I went ahead and put a hummingbird feeder on my quail coop. And then the one that's done the best is this one right here. This is all hot peppers. So I have Carolina Reapers, 4 plants on this side, and then I have 2 ghost peppers, which have actually done phenomenal this year. I was very, very surprised. And then I have 2 cayenne pepper plants here that got hit by worms. So I sprayed them, cut off the bad spots, and then they've kind of come back. But if we get down here, and maybe you guys can see just how many ghost peppers are actually here. It is a ton. And this is starting to put on some cayenne peppers. You can see one right there, and then a nice little cluster here. So cayennes aren't done this year. I'm gonna let this bed go as long as I can, because I want to keep picking the peppers and then dry them out for pepper flakes for the year. And my project for today is this bed here. This is where I had my okra, and I'll go through, pull up all the irrigation tubing, and then get all these weeds out and put some bags of compost and manure in, and then mix that all up. In this bed I had beans. My beans did not do anything this year, so I went ahead and planted my dahlias in here. One of them died. I think I had some kind of disease or fungus. This one came back really nice. It's a labyrinth. And then you can see some of my mustard greens that must have gone to seed and they sprouted out. And then this was a cutting of that labyrinth dahlia that I had. So I'll set the camera up on that one and we'll get to weeding. Alright, so we're just going to use one of these deals. And we'll pull out the irrigation first. Get those out the way. I don't need to destroy those. So we got that. This one. And this one. This stuff is really dry. I'm gonna have to check how the irrigation's going, because the rest of it doesn't look as bad as this section. So alright, I want to give you guys an update on where my grow bed started and what I put in them in the beginning. So the one that we're messing with today started I guess about a year and a half ago or so. I've been in this house for 2.5 years, and I think I started in the winter season, I guess. I don't know. But I had access to composted horse manure in the beginning. And that's what I filled in my hot pepper bed and this little 4x4 bed originally. So it was some really, really good stuff. Unfortunately, I don't have access to that anymore. I did start composting my quail manure to give me some alternative every year. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in this compost and manure mix from any big box store. It's the orange bag. I'll show you a picture here in a second. And I added in my composted quail manure last year. So I'm going to try to alternate, maybe big box store, my own stuff, on and off, just to see what happens. When I filled the majority of these beds, I bought a compost, and they called it man, I don't even remember what it was. They called it a builder or something or other, to where it was supposed to be good for garden beds and stuff like that, but came with a lot of rocks, and overall I was pretty disappointed with the quality, not necessarily the price. So yeah, I'll show you what I'm putting in here, and then I'll dump the bag, mix it in, and then we'll test our irrigation. Alright, so this is the bag we're going to be putting in today. I needed something in this soil to hold the water, and I'm thinking that this will be a pretty good option. It might have some peat moss. I see it has a little nitrogen, phosphate, and potash. So we'll put this in there, mix it in, and run our water to make sure our drip tubing and everything's working. Alright, so this is what that bag looks like all dumped out. It's nice, black, has some wood chips, and probably some sand in there. So I'll go ahead, spread this out with a little rake, and then take the shovel and start turning it into the soil, and we'll see what happens and how it goes. Alright, so this is what it's going to look like for this season. The bag I just put in mixed in really well. The quail compost and manure was mostly brown, so we didn't get any of that black, really dark black compost really show up, but the way my okra grew, I think it's going to be alright. The horse manure was really brown as well, so I'm not too worried about it. I'll lay out this irrigation again and go plug in the hose and see how it works. Alright, let's talk about irrigation. So in this big square here, where you can see all the dirt dug up, there is actually a valve that my irrigation system is set up for. In this little trench here between these two beds, there is this pipe running there, and I'm going to put a T, and then I'll cap off the end over there, and that'll tie in all these grow beds into my actual irrigation system, so I don't have to run the hose all the time. But for now, since I haven't done that yet, since irrigation got installed about 2 days ago, we're going to be doing this. So I have a quick connect, and I have my quick connect on the hose. I'll just plug it in and then go turn on the valve over there, and we'll check out how our water is. Oh, there's a hummingbird at the feeder. Sure is. I need to refill that thing. Alright, so let's take a look how this is working. This one is not bad. I have this one in the middle that spreads out almost the entire thing, and then the other two drip tubes to take care of it. This one's not bad. I have a couple spray heads that I can adjust easily. The bed we just messed with needs some adjustment. It's okay, but I probably need another spray head on this corner here instead of that middle fountain deal. This bed does really well, and that bed obviously does really well. Has a lot of spray heads and a couple drip tubes for when the plants get too big. So everything's good except this one. This has been my problem bed, and I need to figure out what to do to fix it.